how much time do we have? Okay, how much time do we have? That is the topic for today. Now, it's an interesting topic. I'm sure some of you may have some thoughts about what is this topic. But it's what is more interesting is how this topic came about. This happened about a year back, I think, year back, maybe during the lockdown. Lockdown was just getting over. So some devotee from the US actually reached out to me, said that we have this online teaching group, and can you take a lecture over there? So I said, yeah, okay, no problem. I'll give a lecture. So I just messaged him. He had asked me that what topic would you like to speak on. So I didn't know the audience. I don't know anything. I asked him, how much time do we have? So he didn't respond. And just one day before the lecture, that image आता है ना, image, the speaker and everything. In that, they had written the topic. How much time do I have? He took that as the topic. I was asking, कितना time मिलेगा बात करने के लिए? How much time will I have? And he took that as the topic. So now when Mohan Prabhu asked me what is the topic, I replied, how much time do I have? And he replied, you have about 1 hour 15 minutes. So he misunderstood. So your topic ही ऐसा है कि people misunderstand. So anyway, so how much time do I have? Any guesses? How much time do I have for what? Huh? For service to the Lord. Okay, what else? How much time do I have for the what? Before what? Sorry? How much time you have left? Yeah, how much time do I have left before I die? Does anybody know over here? Any astrologers here who can say that I know exactly what date, what पंचांग में क्या डेट रहेगा, क्या टाइम रहेगा? I know exactly. Does anyone know over here? No one knows. There is no way to really find out, right? So I remember my hand. You see, for those who understand palmistry, these are all sciences: palmistry, astrology, numerology. They are all sciences. If you don't know the science, we should not derive it. KFL Bakwas. They're scientific. Now, palmistry basically looks at the lines on your hand. So, if you look at my hand, my lifeline is really very short, very short. Okay. So, once one devotee in the temple, he looked at my life, he looked at my hand. I said, "मेरे को पता चला है astrology का." I showed him my hand, and he looked at my hand and he looked at me like this. अरे तुमने जिंदा कैसे हो? How come you're still alive? Because my lifetime is actually that short. It's very short. So I know I had a major accident when I was 24 or 25, very, very major accident. And I survived. But my back pain that I have, which is like a permanent thing, that is because of that accident. But yeah, I survived. And then after that, a couple of astrologers who met me, I used to ask them, आपको क्या कितना टाइम बाकी है, so now few astrologers have told me that चल जाएगा आप, ये अभी आपका थोड़ा बुरा फेस चल रहा है. They say like till December 23 there's a very bad phase, but July was supposed to be the last worst part of it, but वो फेज निकल गया ना, आप लंबा जियोगे, you live till at least 70. Okay, so really it is very difficult, especially when we take shelter of Krishna. It is very difficult to predict what is your lifespan. It is very difficult to predict anything, because what our astrological charts tell us, horoscopes tell us, once we come into the shelter of Krishna consciousness, even if we are not pure devotees, ऐसा नहीं है, you may feel कि I am not pure devotee, तो मेरे को अभी ये सब apply होता है. No, even if we have not become pure devotees, if we are following the process of pure bhakti, We have made Krishna the goal of our life, primary goal of our life. Then even if we are not pure, we may still be making mistakes, we still may be doing little enjoyment here and there on the side, whatever it is. Krishna has taken charge of your mind. So now all those astrological calculations, they don't mean anything. What is a piece of paper? Very difficult to know. So we see in the Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is full of such stories, right? So then we see the whole basis of the Bhagavatam was the story of Parikshit Maharaj, right? So Parikshit Maharaj, he was actually cursed to die in how many days? He was cursed to die in 7 days, right? And ऐसा नहीं है कि that boy who cursed him Shringi, why was he cursing him? Because he was angry. He thought that this Kshatriya king, what do they think of themselves? He's put a dead snake around my father. First he thought that he's put a snake around my father, maybe that snake has killed my father. So in that anger, he cursed Parikshit Maharaj to die by the bite of a snake. Correct? But why did he say 7 days? He could have said he will die by the bite of the snake today, right now. ना तो शक्ति था उसमें. Why did he say 7 days? Anyone knows why he said 7 days? No one knows. There is no answer. It is the arrangement of Krishna. Very clear. Because he could have said 1 day, he could have said 2 weeks, he could have said 1 minute, next 1 hour he will die. He could have said anything. He could have cursed him to die on the spot. But he cursed him to die in 7 days. Why is that? Because it is Krishna's arrangement. So that Parikshit Maharaj will come, surrender at the banks of Ganges to all the surrounding sages, and the Srimad Bhagavatam can be spoken. Everything is arrangement of the Lord. Like last Sunday, how many of you heard the Bhagavatam class? Right? Very wonderful. If you have not heard it, please hear it. Very beautiful class. And उसमें one very striking point he made. He spoke. He said that you know he said that in our life, अपने जीवन में, in our life, we all want to be the producer, the director, the script writer, and the hero or heroine of our movie. अपना जीवन का जो मूवी है, का प्रोड्यूसर भी हम हैं, we are the director also, script writer also, and hero or heroine also. Right? Everyone agrees. We don't want anyone else to be director of our life. No, I will be director. Script also I will be write. And we don't write script only for ourselves. See, script mein, person who writes script of a movie, he doesn't write script only for hero. No, he writes script that what will heroine say, what will the villain say, what will the boss say, what will the children say, how they will behave, how they will speak. Everything he writes script writer. We also write script of our own life. And we want the movie of our life to go exactly as per what script I have written. My wife must talk to me like this only. She must obey me under all circumstances. My husband must be fully his feet, the head must be touching my lotus feet at all times. My children must be so obedient that I just look in their direction. They should immediately pick up their books and study. They should not be distracted. They should never touch the phone. So many lines we write in our script of our movie. But does our movie go as per our script? कोई है इधर जो बोलता है मेरा एकदम स्क्रिप्ट के हिसाब से जाता है और that is the case. Most of us are script is something and we are something completely. After some time we leave the script. अरे छोड़ो ये पिक्चर हमारा वो सुपर फ्लॉप जा रहा है ना? We try to change the script, isn't it? But he made a very beautiful point. He said that actually the hero, the producer, the director, the script writer, and the hero of the movie that's going on around us is the Supreme Lord Krishna. So his plan is what is determining everything. So what do we have to do? In that movie, we can play a different role. We can play different roles. As long as we accept that he is the hero, he is in the center. We keep Krishna in the center of everything we do. If we do that, then we will be happy. Krishna will be happy, we will be happy. Because as long as we think I will run my life as per my plan, I will never be happy. Because my plan doesn't happen. You know, sometimes some devotees have said that when we make a plan, Krishna has a good laugh. By Krishna, even the demigods must be laughing. कि बेचारा कर रहा है प्लान करने दो उसका उसका डेस्टिनी में ये सब नहीं है I will go and I will become top of my profession. I'll become CEO. I will become chairman of company. I will have big house in Naples Road. I will be this, I will be that. I'll go to Switzerland, this, that, big bucket list. So many plans we make. And Krishna is smiling over there. Acha beta, very nice. Acha, ये सब plan है. Very good, very good. Try good, try good. Right? So we have to understand that ultimately everything that is happening in this material world, इसे है ना एक भगवान की इच्छा के बगैर एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिल सकता. That is true whether we are devotee or not devotee. If you are not devotee, well, definitely it is applicable because material nature is in charge, and she is even tougher than Krishna. Krishna is compassionate. Material nature follows laws. उनके लॉस में ऐसा जगह नहीं है बेचारा वो फाइट मार रहा है इसके लिए थोड़ा कंसेशन नहीं. Material nature means laws. Laws of nature apply to everybody. कोई कंपैशन नहीं है कोई ऐसा कंसेशन नहीं. But Krishna unpredictable. Sometimes he may give concession. Sometimes he may come down like a ton of bricks. He may be very heavy on us. Our karma is saying that we have to suffer. Let's say, you know, if you put it in terms of, you know, money, suppose हमारा कर्मा बैड कर्मा का जो है कोटा है समझो 10,000 रुपए का कोटा है जो अगले 100 जन्मों में खत्म कर दो. That means 100 rupees per birth. 100 into 100, 10,000 rupees. Krishna may decide to give you 5,000 in this birth only. मतलब उसका अगले 50 जन्मों का जो बैड कर्मा है एक ही साथ आ जाएगा. कोई भरोसा नहीं. कृष्णा का कोई भरोसा नहीं. So therefore, everything that is happening by Krishna's arrangement. So even this Sukadeva Goswami turning up on that spot and Parikshit Maharaj being cursed to die in 7 days is the plan of Krishna. So Sukadeva Goswami, after he meets with Parikshit Maharaj, he tells him that he quotes in this verse 2.1.12. He tells him that what is the value of a prolonged life? Lamba Jivan. What is the value of prolonged life which is wasted, inexperienced by years in this world? Better a moment rather than a prolonged life, better a moment of full consciousness. Because that gives one a start in searching after his supreme interest. Very powerful statement that Sukadeva Goswami is making here, that we are all working so hard to keep living. And it is correct also. As per scriptures, we should make all effort to keep body and soul together. Committing suicide or wasting away is actually sinful. We should try to live as long as we can. However, what is the use of a life which is just being wasted? पूरा दिन time pass चल रहा है, ये कर रहे हैं, मजे कर रहे हैं, enjoy कर रहे हैं, ये वो. What is the value of that? Better, he says, one moment of full consciousness of Krishna. Can we have that one moment where we are fully surrendered? See, like Draupadi, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj, in his lecture, in the question answer he was mentioning, Then what is Draupadi known for? What is she most famous for? Anyone? Vastra, right? The most defining moment in her spiritual career, in her whole life, was Vastra, where she was being disrobed by Dushasana. That was the most defining moment in her life. She was also a Patrani, she was a empress, wife of emperor, of the whole world, right? And Ma was mentioning that she is not remembered that she was eating, sweet rice sitting in her chambers, nicely eating sweet rice with people fanning her. No one remembers her for that. She may have had those moments as well. Everyone remembers her for this. Why? Because it was in this moment that she was completely, entirely, 100% cent percent she was surrendered. That one moment, for that she remembered for all eternity, that she completely surrendered to Krishna and Krishna saved her. So that's the point that Sukdev Goswami is making. Then he tells a story of Khatman Maharaj. So Khatman Maharaj was a king who was helping the demigods to fight against the demons. And when he was fighting this battle, a very long battle. After the battle got over, Khatman Maharaj, he was so tired. He asked, the demigods were very happy with him. And they asked him that we want to give you a boon. हम आपको कुछ वरदान देना चाहते हैं. We want to give you a boon. So what boon do you want? So he asked this question: how much time do I have? Just tell me that. How much time do I have? So they told him you have one muhurta remaining. One muhurta. One muhurta basically means about 48 minutes. 48 minutes. That's not a very long time, right? 48 minutes. Already we have been here for 48 minutes as per the clock, right? ऐसा 48 minutes ऐसा निकल गया, है ना? So 48 minutes is all he had. So immediately he cut off all discussions. He immediately came down to the earth planet. Oh, he could have been there, he could have left his body in heavenly planet, he could have continued for some time, whatever. He just closed all the books of his life. सब script बंद कर दिया, सब बंद कर दिया. Immediately came down and in full consciousness surrendered to the Supreme Personality of God. This is what Sukdev Goswami is talking about. Better that one moment of surrender, one moment of full surrender, rather than a whole lifetime spent, in sense gratification, in plan with so many plans. We have so many plans. Even when we are 50, we have plans. Even when we are 70, we have plans. When we are 80, when we are 90, also we have plans. And unfortunately, most of our plans revolve around how I can enjoy. Whatever is remaining, थोड़ा जो 4 आना 8 आना बाकी है, how can I enjoy? We are always thinking about ourselves. We don't think about how can Krishna enjoy? How can I make the Lord happy? How can I please the devotees? We don't think like that. We are always thinking of ourselves, very selfish. So, Khatman Maharaj came to know how much time he has left. How can we find out how much time we have left? Any suggestions, any thoughts? How we can find out how much time we have? Anybody? We need not 100% agree. I'm saying, but just for theoretical understanding, how can we figure out how much time I have and how can we rely on it? अभी अगर आपको कोई बोले, माता जी, प्रभु जी, आपके पास अभी 22 साल बाकी है, 22 years. Someone tells you, are you sure? Sure. Dead sure? Dead sure. 22 साल. So immediately you very relaxed. It's a good time, yaar. You can enjoy more. But someone tells you 22 minutes. 22 minutes, are you serious? Right? So, how do we estimate that how much time we have left? Since this is the topic of today's discussion, How much time do I have left? How do we find? माना ये सब तो फिलोसफी हो गया, ये हम लोग बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे, बट फर्स्ट टू फाइंड आउट हाउ मच टाइम डू आई हैव लेफ्ट. आई एम 50 years old. How do I know how long I will live? Yes, Madhu. Okay, approximately our parents' age. Any other? Any other thoughts? There's no way. Correct? Yeah, so there is, actually speaking, there is no way to find out when death will come to us. It's very difficult to say because while your parents may be very long lived, when you are walking out of this hall, we can trip on the step, fall down, hit our head, concussion, and very low, right? Who can predict? No one knows, right? So, is there any, like there's a lot of software and a lot of apps nowadays, no? Is there any app which can predict when someone will die? I don't think so. So one time one person came to Prabhupada. They asked Prabhupada that Prabhupada, why is the death rate so high in India? It's a challenging question. Why is the death rate so high in India? ऐसा सवाल पूछा. So Prabhupada said the death rate is same everywhere, 100%. Everyone dies. So death rate is same everywhere you go. It is 100%. Everyone dies, right? So death is the most sure thing. There is this story about this parrot. There was one parrot. You might have heard this story, but I'll tell it again. There was this parrot, and he, was on his tree. He was on a beautiful tree with his wife parrot, his children parrot. अच्छा family के साथ अच्छा discussion चल रहा है, nice. And he is, singing in his own shrill voice. And then suddenly he looks down on the tree. When he looks down, he sees Yamraj standing there. Sakshat Yamaraj, not Yamaduta. Yamaraj himself is standing there. And more shockingly, Yamaraj is looking at the parrot. He's looking at me. And he's scratching his head like this. Yamaraj, the parrot becomes very panicky. He becomes very afraid. अरे युवराज मेरे को दिख रहा है, सब मेरा लगता है काल आ गया, finishing time is over. So he desperately started praying to Garudji that somehow please save me. I am so young now. कि मेरे बच्चे भी बड़े time है क्या मेरा मरूंगा. He desperately prayed to Garudji, and Garudji manifested immediately. And he told Garuji, see this Yamaraj is looking at me like this. Please मुझे यहाँ से लेके चलो कुछ तो करो. तो Garuji said, hop on my back. So Garuji के back पे वो बैठ जाता है. And Garuji, he flies at the speed of the mind. He, he flew across the 7 oceans. Crossed the 7 oceans. And went to some remote island. On that remote island, there was a cave. Inside that cave, he went inside, dark cave. He went inside the cave and he put the parrot down. The moment he put the parrot down, the parrot died. Till that time, it was alive. वो parrot को नीचे रखते ही वो parrot मर गया. Now even Guruji is bewildered. क्या चल रहा है? What is going on? So he then flew back equally quickly within 1 second. No, within few seconds he had reached there. Within few seconds he flew back. And Yamaraj is still standing there. He was a Yamaraj, क्या मिला है? What's going on? I took this parrot there and I dropped in there. The moment he dropped in there, the moment he said this, Yamaraj started laughing. जोर से Yamaraj started laughing. Laughing away. Now when he's laughing like this, Garuji is getting little irritated. क्या है? Why are you laughing? One thing parrot died and nothing. He says, no, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend, but basically today when I was just walking past over here, no parrot के लिए थी I was just walking past, and when I was walking past, I saw this parrot, and when I saw this parrot, I realized, अरे, how is this possible? This parrot has to die in the next few seconds. But not here. Across the seven oceans, in a dark cave, on that stone, he has to die. What is he doing here? There's no way he can get from here to there in few seconds. उतने में हम आ गए. You're the only person who could have taken him from here to there in few seconds. आप उसको वहां लेके गए, वहां बिठाया और तुरंत मर गए. Right? So that is why I'm laughing. Right? So this is what destiny is. This is what death is. When our time comes, no matter what we try, we are going to die. Right? And I have seen this unpredictability of death. You cannot predict. I've seen it all my life. You know, like we had one counseling. One of our counselors was there. So he was very healthy, Gujarati person, happy-go-lucky, very healthy and nice, fair, good-looking person. And कभी जिंदगी में उन्होंने अस्पताल का मुंह नहीं देखा. He had never been to hospital his whole life. He was like 65 years old. Then one fine day, this is during COVID time, he got some infection, something in his stomach, and he started getting vomiting. And vomiting was so much that he couldn't eat anything. So then he got admitted to the hospital. He got admitted to the hospital. In the hospital, they tried everything. They could not even diagnose what was the problem. And his kidneys failed, his liver failed, multiple organ failure, died. That's it. Within few days, he was gone. And a person who has never seen a hospital in his life, he has anything. And in few days, he is gone. Right? So we have seen this. It's very unpredictable. Life is like that. Then 4 months, this whole thing happened in 4 months. 4 months. At the same time, how many of you know about Mahaprabhu? Anyone knows Mahaprabhu from our temple? Yeah. So Mahaprabhu, his wife, Palika Mataji, she was diagnosed with leukemia in 1980. Correct? 1980. 1980. Many of us were probably not even born at that time. 1980. And it was a rare form of leukemia, cancer. Rare form. But somehow they found some medicine for her in the US and they started giving that. They were testing it on her. And she lived for 33 years with leukemia. Can you believe that? 33 years. And productive life. ऐसा नहीं कि खाट पकड़ के बैठ गई. Productive life. She lived for 33 years serving her Radha Vrindavan network, serving Vaishnava, serving Guru Maharaj. She was doing till she left her body. So how unpredictable. One person leaves in 4 months, another person carries on for 33 years. There is no way of predicting anything. Basically, it is impossible to predict how much time we have left. So what do we have to do? अगर हमें पता है कि हमें पता नहीं है, we know that we can't know when we will die. So then what do we do? Basically, we have to assume that death can come at any moment. As they say in English language, right? Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Hope for the best. That, maybe I'll live for another 10, 15, 20 years. Healthy life. I'll be able to serve community of Vaishnavas. I'll do something good for my Guru Maharaj. You can have plans, everything. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Because we never know when death will come upon us. We never know, right? Because death can come at any moment. Now, question is that even if we do know, suppose we do know, what will we do with that information? अगर किसी ने आपको बताया कि you are going to live for another 20 years, 20 साल है आपके पास. Like for example, मुझे एक इंडिकेटिव दिया है कि 20-22 साल है, अगर ये साल निकल गया 20-22 साल है आप. Now, what will I do with this information? What would you do if someone told you that you have X number of years left? What would you do? Anybody? Try to finish the bucket list. अरे यार वो स्विट्जरलैंड का एक ट्रिप बाकी था मेरा हाँ? मेरे को 7 सिस्टर्स देखा नहीं है मैंने मेघालय में त्रिपुरा पूरा एक तो बनता है बहुत ठंडे I want to maybe it is spiritual bucket list. I want to go at least once to Ahobilam. I come here, Ahobila Math. I want to go to original Ahobilam, Andhra Pradesh. May have so many bucket lists, right? Yeah, so we can do that. Any other thoughts? What else we can do if we know that how much time we have left? Settle all our accounts. Okay. Yes, very. So, if the Lord is kind enough to give us an indication of how much time we have left, normally Lord doesn't give. But for Parikshit Maharaj, he gave, he said 7 days. He knew 7 days he will die. So if the Lord is kind enough to give some indication, what is that indication? Typically, it is some serious disease. Some serious disease. डॉक्टर बोलता है अभी इनको दवाओं की नहीं दुआओं की जरूरत है. He has maximum 5-6 months left. Like my mother, when she got cancer, it was detected in 2010, breast cancer. Immediately we did surgery, then we did chemotherapy, we did radiation, then we did a second round of chemotherapy, and it was going on and on. It was keep coming back. It would go away, it would come back again. Go away, keep coming. At one point, my mother said, "Bas, I can't take it anymore. No medication now. Whatever it is, do we have." This was in 2013 September. At that time, we spoke to the doctors in the Bhaktivedanta hospital. Palliative care that we were giving her. So Vishnu Prabhu said, we asked him how much time does she have. He said maximum 4 to 6 months. I found it very difficult to believe. Because my mother, for those of you who have seen my mother, well-built, fair, and she doesn't look, she looks so full of life. इनको देखिए कोई बोलेगा नहीं कि इनको cancer. Once what happened was in 2012, my mother, she was admitted in 13, I don't remember. She was admitted in Bhaktivedanta Hospital in 2013. So some of my colleagues from my company, SAP, had come to meet her. They had come to meet her. And they came and they saw, and I was on medical leave. I had taken leave because my mother is admitted in hospital. When they came to see her, they saw her, they saw that after they saw her, they met her, my mother एकदम cheerfully सबसे अच्छे से jokes वोक्स क्रैक करके अच्छे से बात कर रही, ये कर रही, वो कर रही. And when they came out, they said, यार तेरी mother तेरे से ज़्यादा healthy लगी, तू तो क्या हुआ लग रहा है? Your mother is looking better than you. So yeah, and it was very difficult for us to accept she will leave. But in 4 months she was gone. 4 months. उन्होंने 4 to 6 months बोला था. 4 months she was gone. Right? So if the Lord gives you an indication, what do? We take it as a blessing. We don't take it as devotees. We should not take it as a curse. We should not take it कि ये क्या है, मैं तो कितना बाकी है मेरा जिंदगी में, बहुत कुछ करना है. Be happy. This is a blessing. The Lord has given you an indication that your time is almost over. Now, what do we do? First thing, like what Mataji said, Shubhangi Mataji, that review your priorities in life. If you are told that you have very less time left, review your priorities in life. At that moment, we should understand that job, ये वो जो हम लोग इतने सारे लाइफ में प्रायोरिटीज बना के रखे हैं, my job, my business, my reputation, my this, my that, all the minds that we are attached to, all the designations, all the services, all the things that we may be attached to, review your priorities. Whatever you are doing for your body and your bank balance, reprioritize for family. Your family of your immediate family and your family of Vaishnavas. Reprioritize your time. Second thing we can do when we have been given notice, बोले ऐसा नोटिस चिपका है आपके ऊपर, ऐसा सर के ऊपर एक नोटिस चिपका है, 3 महीना है मैक्स. What should we do? We are Vaishnavas, or at least we are trying to be Vaishnavas. We are not very successful. We know that. तो पता है हमारा वैष्णव बनने में अभी बहुत जमीन बाकी है शायद, क्या मानो. But as Vaishnavas, if we have been given notice, do your sadhana very deeply. Deepen your sadhana. Start taking shelter of holy names. Chant more. If you are chanting 4 rounds, start chanting 16. If you're chanting 16, start chanting 20, 24, 32, whatever you can do. Chant more. Ultimately, it is all about chanting. Chanting nicely. Chant more, chant deep, chant with surrender, with sincerity, till you are able to. Because there will be a time when you will not be able to. The time is going to come. 100%. सबका आएगा. मेरी मदर का भी आया था. I saw my mother, and the now again this is something that I've seen with my own eyes. So I don't need anyone else to convince me. अपने आंखों से देखा है. When my mother towards the end, no, because she was in pain and discomfort, it was difficult for her to chant. To tell Amma chant, she was not able to chant so much. But when she went into convulsion and she was unconscious, in unconscious state, she was constantly chanting. Constant. You know, under the breath, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Hare. Chal raha hai. Unconscious state. And conscious state, she is not able to chant. I've seen this in my own eyes. So therefore, we don't know. कब, you know, at see, 3 महीने का नोटिस रहेगा, you know, but landlord जो है 1 महीने पहले पानी बंद कर देता है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बंद कर देता है कि अभी निकलो, अभी यहाँ और यहाँ पे टिकने का प्रोग्राम मत बनाओ, अभी निकलने का टाइम हो गया. So सब एक एक काटते जाता है वो, है ना. Like in, you know, my father's old house is going for redevelopment. So the BMC is now cut water, cut electricity. कि सब लोग निकलो आया से. नहीं तो water electricity है तो कौन छोड़ के जाएगा? वही बंद कर. So in our lives also, our water and electricity may stop at some point. We may live for 3 months after that, we don't know. But our ability to chant may go away. We may be unconscious all the time. We may be in coma. किसको पता है? Anyone knows? नहीं, I'm very healthy and fit. मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा. किसको पता? So therefore, now when we are physically able to chant your rounds sincerely, right? Hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. बहुत सुनो. मंदिर नहीं जा सकते? Online सुनो, phone पे सुनो, everything, all facilities are there. Why we have to struggle? There is no need to struggle today. Everything is available online. आते रहते हैं ना अपने ग्रुप में, अपना अमरेंद्र प्रभु का, इनका, उनका आते रहते हैं. We don't even have to go struggling. It's all available online. So if you have been given notice, intensify your reading, intensify your hearing. You know, following the example of Maharaj Parikshit. What did Maharaj Parikshit do? When he was given notice, what did he do? He did say that 6 दिन I will set all my orders in place. सब मेरा successor, मेरा you know, family सबको setting करके फिर one day I will surrender. He immediately picked up that thing which he had never done in his life before, which is what? Hearing dedicated Krishna Katha. I will now only listen to Krishna Katha. So similarly, if we have been given notice, we should also pick up something which we have not done all our life, waiting. मैं जरूर पढ़ूंगा एक दिन चैतन्य चरितामृत. यस, मैंने उसका प्लास्टिक भी निकाल के रखा, जरूर पढ़ूंगा उसको. तो हम लोग एक मुहूर्त के लिए वेट कर रहे हैं, वेटिंग फॉर दैट ऑस्पिशियस मोमेंट टू कम. when I will read Chaitanya. Now the moment has come, immediately pick it up. You know, once during Gaur Purnima, how much time do you do? Half an hour. Okay. How much time do we have? Okay. So once His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Maharaj, he came to our temple, Radha Gopinath temple during Gaur Purnima. So he was sitting on the Vyasasana and he was speaking to everybody. And from Vyasasana he asked, so how many people in the audience have read Chaitanya Charitamrita fully? So please raise your hand. Okay? I'll not ask you to raise here, but there he asked in the temple hall. So some people raise the hand. Very few, मतलब all खचाखच full है, गौर पूर्णिमा का time है. Very few people raise the hand. Sure, okay. So then he asked, okay, he said that how many have reading Chaitanya Charitamrita right now? मतलब पढ़ के उनके एक हो गया. Second, how many are reading right now? So some more hands went up. He asked how many have never read. Many hands went up. बहुत हाथ ऊपर गए. Chaitanya Charitamrita कभी नहीं पढ़ा. So then he said, today is a very auspicious day for Purnima. He said, today, those who have not ever read Chaitanya Charitamrita, today is a good day to start reading. आज से पढ़ना चालू करो. Auspicious दिन है, गौर पूर्णिमा है, आज नहीं चालू करो, आज से चालू करो. Then he said, for those who are reading currently, continue reading. Very good, auspicious day है, और पढ़ो, continue reading. And for those who have finished reading, start again. Today is a very auspicious day, right? So for us also, if we have been given notice, Lord has been merciful enough to tell us कि भाई अभी आपके पास एक साल है before you kick the bucket. हाँ, इसलिए वो bucket list बोलते हैं ना. That is the whole idea. Before we kick the bucket, let's look at what's in the bucket. Yeah? So if we are so fortunate that Lord has given us an indication, pick up something which you always wanted to but never did. Now is the time. And then one more very important thing that His Grace going through, we will not going through the Brahmacharya for temple. So he said one very interesting thing that if you are about to die, you know you're about to die, then he said, two things we must do. Two things. Okay? And it's very important. One, beg forgiveness from all the devotees that you have offended. आपने जिनके प्रति अपराध किया है, उन सब से आप जाके क्षमा मांगो. Ask, beg for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I spoke those harsh words to you. I did this to you. They may know, they may not know. You go and you beg forgiveness. If you are not in physical shape to go, call them up and beg forgiveness. If you are not in shape to even call them, in your mind you beg forgiveness. Pay obeisances to them and beg forgiveness in your mind. But beg forgiveness for the offenses you have. And then second thing, which is even more important, he said, if someone has offended you, you forgive them. Immediately. Don't wait that and then I am calling up everybody and I am forgiving, I am begging for forgiveness. Let them call me, let them come and meet me, then I will forgive. No. That is for you, that you have to go and beg forgiveness from everybody. But where others are concerned, don't wait that when they come and beg, मेरे चरण पकड़ के माफी मांगेंगे, मैं जरूर माफ करूंगी. नहीं. In your mind, immediately forgive. Whoever it may be, forgive. Why do we do this? Forgive and beg forgiveness. Why do we do this? For our peace. Okay, what else? Yeah, if we are attached to those things, that this person did like this to me, that person did like this, that Mataji was so cruel to me, that Prabhuji is so envious of me, and if you carry these thoughts in your mind, even to the point of death, it is like you're bound up. किसी ने रस्सियों से बांध के रखा है. So when we beg forgiveness, and when we forgive people, we are cutting those ropes one by one. कि अभी हो गया, हो गया. इनको मैंने माफी मांग लिया, आई एम सॉरी, हो गया. इनको मैंने माफ कर दिया, हो गया, finished. That chapter in my life is over. Now I move forward to the lotus feet of Krishna. This is how we prepare for death when we have been given notice. Now suppose you are in good health and there is no notice. ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना कि किसी किसी व्यक्ति तो बोलते हैं ना माशाल्लाह ये तो बहुत तालची है. So someone may be blessed with good health. There is no indicator when we will die. I said if there is indicator, signal has been given, notice has been given, take it as a blessing. But if no indicator is there, you're in good health. You're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, there's no indication. Then how do we take it? We still take it as a blessing. Actually, human life only is a blessing. Human life is such a blessing, such an opportunity we have to hear Hari Katha, to take shelter of Radha Gopinath. साधारण चीज नहीं है, ordinary thing. Just come like this and pay obeisances here in front of the deity. I mean, a cat or a dog can't do it. A cow can't do it. Species cow. Cow can't do it. No one can do it except the human beings. So just being alive in a human being's body, in and of itself is a big blessing. Because it's in this body you can make choices. But what's right, what's. So if you are alive in good health, take that as a blessing. However, still we should understand padam padam yat vipadam desham. Death can come at any moment. Even if you are healthy, death can come at any moment. I remember this is my early days, when I just become a devotee, and me and my wife, we used to live in Khar at that time, and our office, both of us, our office was in Thane Vidapur, very far away. So we used to have a company bus which would come about 1 kilometer from our house. That bus used to come at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. the buses would come. So we had to leave home by 6:40. And 6:40 को निकलना है, तो ब्रेकफास्ट खा के डब्बा बना के फिर निकलना है by 6:40. Meaning my wife and my mother is to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 they will get up. They will chant for about 1 hour. Till about 4:30 to 5:30 they would chant. 5:30 they would run into the kitchen. Because breakfast भी बनाना है, डब्बा भी बनाना है. And once what happened was, all of us were chanting in the living room. We were sitting in a circle like this. My mother was sitting on a chair, I was sitting on a chair, my wife was sitting down, my father, I think, also was sitting down, and they were chanting. And my mother went, my father went, I went, my wife was the last one to get up. She got up and went, and she was sitting right under the fan. The fan came crashing down. Fan came crashing down. Now you imagine that fan is like the Sudarshan Chakra. If it falls down, तो like Sudarshan Chakra. अच्छा, 1 second में वो मतलब clean cut करेगा. She survived. So you never know कब आपका समय आएगा, कोई नहीं बोल सकता. वो 26 July 2005, those of you I experienced, I walked from Prabhadevi to Chembur, Sindhi society. Okay, I started my journey at 2:30 in the afternoon. I reached at 10:30. घंटे चल के आया हूँ पानी में से. And the last 100 meters, the water was still here. and my wife is below this height. And she was also coming from car. She was coming from car. I was coming from Prabadevi. So एक दो बार हमारा फोन पे बात हुआ था. And तब फिर सब फोन सब खत्म हो गया. No communication. So when I reached the last, yeah, I knew that I have probably reaching around the same time. Last 100 meters, I had a laptop bag, I had an umbrella, and I'm walking through that water. The water is getting deeper, 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 deeper. At one point, मेरा पाँव ऐसा होने लग गया. I was really scared. I said, Baba, I know swimming, but I was not that time. I didn't know swimming. No, I didn't know swimming at that time. So we started, I was going walking, and then suddenly I realized, my God, if Priyasani is also coming at the same time, she won't make it. उसका तो पानी सर के ऊपर है यार. मेरे को यहाँ तक आ रहा है, उसको सर के ऊपर जाएगा. She won't even make it. So I was panicking. So I somehow started going fast, and I saw two boys. Two boys were standing there. They came. One boy got one hand, other boy got second hand. And no, मेरे को building तक छोड़ दिया. I ran up. I ran up, and I asked my maid servant that has she come? She's not come. I immediately went running down again. Bag रखा नीचे भाग के गया. नीचे भाग के गया. Those same two guys were bringing my wife उसको shoulder से उठा के लेके आ रहे. I still don't know who those two people were, but she survived second time. So when death will come, even when you are very healthy, कोई नहीं बोल सकता है कब आपका काल आएगा, कोई नहीं बोल सकता. So even if you are in good health, we should know anytime something can happen. Radha Gopinath Prabhu always says, life is a preparation, death is an examination. So we have in our life, we don't be death conscious, we don't be fatalistic, we don't want to be always meditating on death. No. We want to do the positive things that are in our control. अभी भी हाथ चल रहा है, चलो जुपा करो एक्स्ट्रा. अभी भी आंख चल रहा है, चलो भागवतम पढ़ो, सीसी पढ़ो. कान चल रहा है, चलो भागवत का क्लास सुनो. पैर सलामत है, चलो सत्संग में आओ. See, we don't know how many years we have left to come here to Ahobila Math and hear lecture in person. See, we can always hear online. We can always read the translation, the transcription given by Shubhangi Mataji, and still feel we are there in the lecture. But it is different when we come here. Speaker क्या बोलता है, जो भी है, that is a different experience. पैर सलामत है, तो अपना ईगो छोड़ो, अपना tiredness, laziness छोड़ो, and come here and listen. Because we don't know when that opportunity will be taken away from us. Sometimes we are hurting from inside, sometimes we are upset with somebody, sometimes we are just feeling lazy. Time, हर Tuesday को, they should have it once in 2 weeks, ये क्या weekly program, ऐसे से अपने मन में विचार आने लगते हैं. So His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj says, whenever your mind tells you, don't be fanatic. कोई जरूरत नहीं है फैनेटिक बनने की, हर हफ्ते मंदिर जाने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं. एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन. क्या जरूरत है गो टू टेंपल लाइक दिस? सुबह सुबह उठ के गाड़ी में जाओ, वहां पे पार्किंग भी मिलता नहीं, मारा मारे, कौन इतना मेहनत करे? योर माइंड इज टेलिंग यू दिस. इमीडिएटली ड्रॉप व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. हाथ में जो भी सामान है, काम है, सब छोड़ो और भागो मंदिर में. If your mind is telling you don't go to the temple, that means now is the time for you to go. Because we don't know what is coming next, right? So we have to prepare ourselves for that final moment. Like what Mataji said, at each moment, Mataji, your solution, that at each moment, let me chant with intensity, because death can come at any moment. आपको पता है, while you are doing your spaced out chanting, ऐसा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा. अरे वही समय में मृत्यु आ गई तो क्या करोगे? What face we will show to Krishna? We are like devotee atheist. Devotee atheist समझते हैं? See, there are all types of atheists. We are devotee atheist. Devotee atheist मतलब क्या? जो devotee होते हुए भी doesn't believe in God. Is that possible? कुछ ज्यादा ही बोल रहे हो। ऐसा हो सकता है? बिल्कुल हो सकता है। Because हम लोग को तो पूरा faith के साथ scriptural basis पे हमको पता है that Lord resides in the heart. सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो. He has said in Gita, we are able to quote the verse also. हाँ, सब मालूम है। फिर भी we pretend as if Krishna is not seeing when I am doing this. उनको नहीं दिख रहा है। क्या मतलब? क्या सोच रहे हैं आप? हाँ, कि अरे भगवान सब जगह है, आपके हृदय में भी है, आप उनका ही नाम ले रहे हो। He is present in the holy name also. That time you are chanting meditatively, purposely, consciously, and you think he can't see. That means you don't believe he is there in the holy name. That means you are a devotee atheist. So don't be like that. Be sincere. Like I said, all of us cannot be intense at all times. ये तो मुमकिन ही नहीं है। ये पॉसिबल नहीं है कि at every moment I will say, हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। वो नहीं होता, सबसे नहीं होता, बहुत कम लोगों से होता है to be intense at all times. But I may say, मुझे मेरे से ऐसा intense जब नहीं होता, मेरे से उम्मीद भी मत करो। Don't even expect that I will chant like this. मैं तो ऐसा चलेगा। You cannot be intense at all times. But today, आज का क्या डेट है? हाँ, 28 November 2023, 8:55 p.m. It is a good auspicious moment. से ज्यादा auspicious moment कोई है ही नहीं। For what? To start becoming sincere. तो इतने साल से सिंसियर तो थे नहीं, तब गड़बड़ किया जपा में, कोई बात नहीं। नाउ लेट मी बिकम सिंसियर। नाउ लेट मी स्टार्ट slowly increasing my intensity of जपा। एक शॉट में कोई गाड़ी 0 से 60 नहीं जाती। 0 से 60 जाने को उसको 5 सेकंड लगते हैं। Same way, on day 1 you will not be intense. Can I start with this mantra? This mantra that I'm going to, we are all going to chant right now. Can I be intense for this one mantra? Let us. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This one mantra can I be intense? So next mantra can I be intense? After 3-4 mantra again वापस अपना माइंड कहीं और चला जाए, चलेगा। 3-4 मंत्र को आपने डट के किया, ऐसे धीरे धीरे भी ट्राई टू इंक्रीज। दैट्स इट, राइट? इंक्रीज योर इंटेंसिटी, इंक्रीज योर सरेंडर। दैट इज व्हाट लाइफ इज प्रिपरेशन। नो, नहीं तो क्या है, जस्ट माला खींचना, नंबर बीड्स का नंबर खींचना इज नॉट चैंटिंग। यू हैव टू ट्राई टू सरेंडर। So, to conclude, leaving the world will take how much time? One moment, right? And we don't know what condition we will be in that time. नाक में ट्यूब रहेगा, नो गला खोल हो रहा है, we don't know what condition. But Krishna willing, if Krishna's desire is there, we will be able to remember him. So rather, right now, because we don't know what condition we will be in that at the time of death. Right now, when we are in good shape, maybe not in great shape, we all have our problems, right? Back pain, this pain, that pain, pain with devotees. We have so many problems in life. But right now, rather than worrying what will happen at time of death, now can I spend each moment of my day as an offering to the Lord? Krishna says in the Gita, Yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhosi, dadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya, tad kurusva madarpan. Whatever you are doing, yad karoshi, Your asnashi, whatever you are eating, your joshi, whatever you're giving, dada, whatever you're giving somebody, tapasya see, whatever tapasya you're doing, whatever you're doing, that Purushva Mandarpanam, an offering to Krishna. We may not even do it 100%. We may not even do it 20%, 10%, 5%, 1%. Even 1% is good. From 1%, we start increasing our surrender. And if we do that, the Lord is very merciful. If we have been sincere all our life, Krishna is not an accountant. माता जी की तरह हाँ कृष्णा is not a chartered accountant जो ऐसा हिसाब रखता है एक एक रुपये का नो. He will see that if we have been sincere, he may decide. Like I said, he's unpredictable. He may decide, tell, okay, come. I'm not pure, doesn't matter. So that is what we have to do. Worrying about how much time we have left, whether we have been given notice or not given notice, is not important. Take our life as a blessing, take it as an opportunity to surrender to Krishna, to associate with Vaishnavas, to serve the Vaishnavas to best of my ability. Till jaan hai, tab karna. That is perfection of our life. As Vaishnavas, there is nothing else we have to do. That is perfection of our life. That is fulfillment of our life. And whether we live to 60 years, 40 years, we live to 90, 100 years. If we live our lives like this is a perfect. I'll conclude here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi. Hare. We have 2 minutes left. Any questions, comments, anybody before we conclude? We have 4 minutes. Anyone, any questions or comments? Does anyone ask questions over here? नहीं होता है. Yeah. How to keep Krishna in center? First of all, how to keep Krishna in center? See, the easiest way, physically easiest way to do it is that we just take up the lifestyle of a Krishna conscious devotee by chanting 16 rounds, by hearing Bhagavatam every day, by keeping deities in the home. Deities in the home automatically makes everything start slowly revolving around the deities. So by having deities, by hearing Bhagavatam daily, by chanting Hare Krishna, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the lifestyle of Krishna conscious devotee. If we just do that, automatically Krishna becomes center of our life. But beyond this, for getting that consciousness, बाहर से तो सब कुछ करते हैं, सब लोग करते हैं. अंदर से लाने के लिए we have to take shelter. When we hear, take shelter. When we chant, take shelter. When we serve the deities, do it as a service, taking shelter. When we get an opportunity to hear from sannyasis, पूरा मतलब कितना भी आपको बोरिंग लगे, टायरिंग लगे, जाओ मंदिर में झक मार के जाओ उधर, भीड़ भाड़ में बैठो कैसे भी खचाखच. That is really keeping Krishna in the center. As long as we are surrounded by Vaishnavas, we have no choice. Krishna will be in the center. Moment we step out of association of devotees, that's when Maya becomes the center. When we are in association, अभी यहाँ पे I cannot talk about cricket match. No? सब बोलेंगे इसको किसने बिठाया? Here I will talk Krishna only. So when we are in association of devotees, naturally we are very safe. The inoculation जैसा है, vaccination है हमारा. Being in the association of devotees always the safe position to keep Krishna in the center. Right. Anyone else? We can conclude. temptation होता है देखने का. His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj, he says there are 10 offenses to the holy name, and we say it is also an offense to be inattentive by chanting. That is like the 11th offense, right? He says there is a 12th offense also. What is the 12th offense? Keeping the mobile phone next to you when you are chanting. This is what Loknath Maharaj says. Mobile phone बाजू में रखो ही मत. ना रहेगा बांस ना बजेगी बांसुरी. अपने गोपीनाथ फेवरेट डायलॉग. ना रहेगा बांस ना बजेगा. बांस ही नहीं है तो बांसुरी कैसे बजेगी? फोन बाजू में ही मत रखो. Keep it somewhere far away. Finish your round, then take it in the hands. Don't leave it. Yes. बहुत convenient है वो. It's almost like it is designed for this, कि ऐसा बराबर होता है वो. ऐसा 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 चालू रहते हैं. एक हाथ पकड़ा है फोन पकड़ने के लिए और दूसरा उंगली यहाँ से. I mean, God knows that I have also done it. I also do it, but yeah, we should break away from it. As I said, that is like showing Krishna that I don't believe you exist in the holy name. I can do anything and you are not watching me. कैसा लगता होगा when we do this? We have to think sometimes like, what's Krishna feeling when we do this? हरे कृष्णा श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल. भज निताय प्रभु कीर्तन. I am very unfortunate that I can't come here. I don't